We've come a long way so far. For this chapter project, we're going to get our project template file ready to print and set up for a few layout tabs. So let's open it up. I've added a copy of where we should have been in the last chapter here in this chapter project, but use your file. Open it up, and so far we've set up a few things. We've set up layers. We've also set up text styles. And we've set up dimension styles and a few other things. We've put in some blocks that we're going to use. Now we want to set it up to be able to print. So we should have one in here set up called D-size layout. This is a D-size drawing. D-size is an architectural size drawing that we use here in the United States quite often. Right now I'm going to have you rename that to dimension. So right click on the tab, select rename, and we're going to call it dimension. Press enter. Now we need to give it a page setup. Right click and go to the page setup manager. I really have no idea what type of printer you're going to be able to use, if any. That's okay. So we're going to set this up to print to a PDF file. Feel free, however, though, to set yours up however you want, and I am going to set one up later on for my printer. But the process is the same. So I'm just going to show you and give you a couple of options here. Now this file already has some page setups in it already. We have an architectural imperial and we have a no output device. We don't want these in here because they're not going to work for us. So right click on it and delete. Let's go with this architectural imperial, which is not set up correctly. This one is set up for DWF. We're going to modify this one. Modify it. Instead of going to a DWF, and since I don't know what printer you're going to have available to you, I'm going to set it to none. It's set up to print a 24 by 36 sheet, and we also want it to go to a layout size so that it will define it as 24 by 36. Now, why would you want to set up a page setup with no printer? That's a great question. Well, in this case, which is a very special and unique case for us, I understand that. It's going to work out okay because it will set up the layout tab to a 24 by 36 inch size sheet. Click OK. And if I make that one current, click close. And now I have my defined print area. See, I have my border for my paper, which you can tell because it looks like paper. It's the white background and then has the gray field behind it. And then this is my actual title block, and I have my dashed line, and it's fitting inside that. Now, if it's not perfect, I can move that around. You can't really snap to anything, which is unfortunate. It'd be great if I could snap from here to there, but I kind of want to split the difference, so I'm just going to eyeball it. And for what we're doing, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to turn on my ortho command. That way I move it up perfectly straight and kind of eyeball the distance halfway in between, trying to center it on my sheet as best as possible. Okay, now that's set up that way. It won't print to anything, but you can go in and change your page setup and change that printer. Let's set up some more. We'll right click, Page Setup Manager. We're going to base it off of this one, but we're going to say New. We're going to just call it PDF. Click OK. Everything else you see is set the way we had it before, which is fine, except now I need it to be a PDF. So I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to go DWG to PDF. This is default with AutoCAD. So even if you don't have Adobe Acrobat or any other program that's out there, like a Cute PDF or a Nitro PDF, these are other free software versions that you can download that will allow you to print a drawing to PDF. AutoCAD comes with its own. And I typically use that one as opposed to the others because, well, it comes with AutoCAD, and to me it seems to handle them a little bit better. So we have our PDF set up here for our printing device. We're going to set this up to AutoCAD or acad.stb file. 24 by 36 layout, scale is good, portrait or landscape is what we want. Let's get a little preview. This is what it will look like. That's perfect. Right click, exit, and OK. So now we can print to some sort of printer. We can print to a DWF, and we can print to a PDF. Let's make one more, and I'm going to set it up for my printer. Click New. I'm going to call it My Printer. Now, my printer will only print an 8.5 by 11 size sheet. It's possible that that's all yours will do too, and that's okay. It'll give you that warning. Say, hey, look, buddy, you made a mistake. Okay, fine. And then it will go to a default paper size for you. If you click here, these are the different options that I have on this printer. Now, these are pretty typical options for an 8.5 by 11 inkjet printer. I have letter size paper available to me, so that's what I'm going to pick. Since we're going to create a 24-inch by 36-inch size drawing, that obviously will not fit on this letter size paper. So if I use layout, I'll give you a preview. That's all I'm going to get. That's wrong. So let's exit out. And this is a case where the extents really comes into play. So it will take the extent of my drawing. I'm going to center it, and I'm going to have it fit to the paper. So it's going to take everything, squish it down, scale it to whatever odd scale I need, and fit it in. So now when I do a preview, this is going to fit on my paper. It's not a perfect scale factor whatsoever. I admit that. But for what we're doing, it's okay. I can click on this fit to paper and then put in a scale, say 4. That will fit, as you can see on my preview. And it's a good scale that I can use, a factor of 4. So I can now put a scale on my drawing and scale some things, though I'm probably not going to want to because this is a real big reduction in size. It's a reduction of 4, 25%. So it makes it difficult. But that's okay. For what we want to do, I just want to show you how to do this and some things that you can do. And this is going to work. So I'm going to click OK. And I won't make that the default setting. I'm going to keep this one up here. And if you have access to a 24 by 36 size sheet, you can. But this is a real world example of things that happen. When we're at our architectural firms or our engineering firms, whatever design firm you work for, a lot of times you're making drawings on larger sheets and you're sending it to clients who don't have access to those size of printers or plotters. And so they have to reduce the drawings down in size to print them out. That happens, and it's something you may have to deal with. So just be careful and be cautious and just be prepared for it. I'm going to click Close, and that's it. We have now everything in our project template file. Once I hit Save, don't forget to do that. We have everything in here that we need, minus one thing, the actual drawing. So we are prepared. This is a template file. Right here, you've created and finalized your template file. You can start with this drawing now for anything you're going to do. And you have some blocks to use, which you can just continually add to. You have a title block that's ready to go, a viewport that's ready to go, lots of layers, lots of text, lots of dimensions. Now, all you need to do is draw. And that's what we're about to do in the final chapter.